Let's just first understand the situation. I'm sure all of you have seen news articles, not see articles, but you've seen news videos and YouTube videos and read a lot of material on what's happening between Ukraine and Russia. And I'm pretty sure most of you know more than what I know about the situation, because I do not go into the details of the geopolitical situation. I focus on the impact. And for all the time that I've been in the markets, war has always had negative impact on the stock market for short term, for sure. Okay, so there is no denying that this war also is going to have a negative impact. I'm just going to give you the brief idea as to what are the factors that are going to be impacting the stock markets in a very quick, uh, I would say, flow chart. Okay, a very small and quick flow chart. So first things first, any war that happens for that specific country, there's going to be a lot of expenses. There's going to be a lot of damage. Okay, so for both Ukraine and Russia, their economy is going to get a negative impact straightforward. Okay, now due to the rising tensions between the countries and which countries are siding up with which particular country across globally, also the global economy is going to get impacted negatively, because there's going to be a lot of tensions. Some people might cut ties, some people might not cut ties. So all of that confusion is going to ultimately make the economy go in a downward direction. Okay, the further this tension rises, the economy is going to get a negative impact. And we all know with economy and the markets, there's a straight, it's not a straight correlation, it's a dog and leash relation, as we call it. And I had explained this earlier as well, that markets react faster than the economic impact in the real world. Okay, so my markets are basically either trying to predict, they're mostly trying to predict what's going to happen in the economy, and that's why the market is crashing before the economy actually shows the signs of being down, or signs of slowing down, which there is no doubt that there's going to be negative impact for the short term, for sure. Depending on how long this war goes on, the economy will be impacted, and the market are always going to get reactive to that in a negative fashion. Okay, then the bigger concern were specifically to these countries, that oil prices are going to be directly getting impacted. Okay, so oil price is going to go up. The reasons I'm sure you guys have already read in the news articles, so I won't go into that, but the ultimate impact is that the oil price is going to go high, and again this is damaging for the entire economy of the world. Okay, now we are not completely out of oil as a fuel source, so a lot of products and services are made from oil. Also import export still has got a lot of oil usage. Then our flight, the jet fuel itself, which is required, it's almost 40% of any airline's expense, also depends on the oil prices. So ultimately, if the oil price goes up, there's also a negative impact on the economy. Okay, and that also negatively impacts the market, specifically the companies which are using products and services that are made directly or indirectly out of crude oil. Okay, if crude oil is a raw material, those companies are going to get impacted. Companies who have got a lot of import and export of physical goods are going to get impacted. Now, the companies that have a super bullish on the chemical sector, specialty chemical sector, most of them have got their raw material as oil as a raw material, so they are definitely going to get impacted. Their margins are going to come under threat, and ultimately inflation is going to spike up because of the current tension, also because of the oil. There's and that impacts the stock market negatively in the short term. So the overall bottom line is, till the time these tensions are not resolved, or if it keeps escalating, market is going to go only in one direction, that is down. Okay, but don't go all gloom and doom in this. Okay, market going up and down is a direction that it is always going to happen, either for short term or long term, and depending on how your perspective or how long you want to be in the markets. Okay, so overall, how far the market can go, I've just quickly checked the charts, and I'll let you know where I see the markets going in the short term. We saw a large fall but then it recovered for a while, but that is always going to take place. Okay, whenever market falls sharply, there's always going to be an impact. So currently 16,400 levels were breached, but I see the markets can even easily go up to 15,600. There is no stopping them till going to 15,500, 15,600. Okay, even below that, depending on how much these tensions will arise, if there's an all-out war that actually breaks out, we will see market going into downward spiral. I do not have a clear target for that. Okay, but that also means that Indian stock market, the best stocks and the biggest companies in Indian stock market are going to come to a very, very low price, which we all have seen has happened during the COVID-19 pandemic. Markets went up to half of their actual value. Okay, so we had a flat 50% discount across the companies, and a lot of companies actually fell even to a larger extent. So what to do? First of all, I would highly recommend, do not panic. Okay, unless a third world war breaks out, something, the markets will be resilient and they'll come back to their own way, because Indian economy has to keep growing until and unless we get into a third world war when India is actually fighting the war. All countries are fighting the war, but then the entire planet will get consumed by these nuclear blasts. It's as simple as that, and that's the end of civilization. So there'll be no markets, there'll be no human beings at the end of the day. If that scenario escalates, and which is possible because there are so many doomsday sayers saying that, but ultimately if there is a real war going on, then all the countries are going to side from one or the other. There's going to be all out world war. Unless that happens, markets will come back. But if the planet goes down, no matter how much amount of money you have saved, it's not going to come in handy. Okay, but what you can still do is, for these turbulent times, look for defensive sectors. Okay, pick up strong brands. Okay, the lifetime large cap stocks that I've already recommended, those are the brands that whatever inflation is going to come, they're able to pass on to their consumers because of their strong brand standing. Okay, so defensive sectors and strong brands is something which I would recommend to navigate these through these uncertain times. Market is going to go nose diving. It can also go into super volatile mode. Do not try to predict where the market is going to go. That is one thing that you should never do. You wait for the market to react at a level, and of course I will update if the market turns around. For example, last year when I took the meeting on April, not last year, during the pandemic times, I waited till the April turnaround of the market, where the entire pandemic situation was fully digested in the market, and then we had seen an uptrend going. So I'm also looking for that. First of all, fundamental sign, that news sign that actually the situation is under control, and then the markets will react, in fact, faster than actually the economy comes back. Okay, so make sure that you do not put all your money all together right now, and do not try to say every market upar aayega, niche aayega. Yes, for short term, market is going to keep going down till this situation gets resolved. Just keep that in mind. I would recommend not to look at markets on news till the time you see, okay, the war between Ukraine and Russia is over and things are back to peace. Till that time, this is going to keep impacting the entire markets. The other thing that is already happening is, because of these uncertain situations, foreign money has been taken out from Indian market. And that is why we see this huge fall in stocks, because all the foreign money that was there, they have taken out and they've shifted to more safer bets. So I'm going to also give you some defensive bets where you can put your own money. And not in Indian markets, of course, they also invest money in bonds and other even metals is also a good place for you to keep your money during uncertain times. So that's what the foreign investors are doing. That's what I will also suggest you guys do. Okay, so until and unless we actually go into a third world war, do not panic. Let the markets fall, take their free fall. Whenever market turns around, you will start seeing positive returns on your stocks. Right now, I will tell you,